Time for our maths lesson now, and we're starting a different topic. You've done lots and lots of work on multiplication and division, so we're going to start our new topic on addition and subtraction. I'm just going to share my screen with you. Okay, so we're not counting in twos or fives today, we're going to count in ones, and you can use the 100 square to go across each line to count in ones, or you can use the 100 square to go down and count the multiples of 10 down there. Or you can use the videos, the catchy songs to count in ones and tens. When we count in tens though, we don't always have to count the multiples of 10. We can count numbers that have different amounts of ones in them. So if we start on 4, for example, and we have a look at the pattern, if we count on in tens and go down the 100 square, you can see that the 4 is the same in all of the numbers because the ones don't change when you count in tens. But the tens do, so we haven't got any tens there, then 1, then 2, then 3. So each time we're counting in 10, we're adding on 10 more each time. So let's start on 4 then. 4 in your heads and count on 10 more, remembering that we've always got to say 4 ones every time. Ready? 4, 14, 24, 34, 44, 54, 64, 74, 84, 94. Well done, we got all the way to the bottom of the 100 square. Perhaps you can pick other numbers to start on and count on in tens with your adult at home. And you don't always have to start with a 1-digit number. You could start anywhere you like. You could start on 42 and count on. You could start on 68 and count on. So have a bit more of a go at counting on in tens from different starting numbers because that will help with your work today. Okay, we're going to move on now to the next slide. So this is our objective. We're going to add 2 two-digit numbers by partitioning. Partitioning means to split into tens and ones. We're not going to go into the next 10, so the ones that we're adding together today will not add to more than a total of 9. Here's our key vocabulary. So we've got 2-digit number. That's just a number that is made up of 2 numbers, so like 24. Tens, so when you have a 2-digit number, the first digit is the tens. Ones, when you have any number, the last digit is always the ones, okay? So that's the tens and the ones. Ones sounds like it starts with a w, but actually the word starts with an o. That's why we've got an o to represent the word ones. And then partition, that just means to split. So we're going to split 24 into tens and ones. So it's got 2 tens, so that means it's got 10, 20. And ones, there's the 20, and the ones are just 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So when we are doing addition, you might hear me say add or adding or addition, but they all mean using this sign here, we're getting bigger, adding. And then we've got equals, total, or all together. They all mean the same thing, and we're using this sign to show that. That's the answer, how much it equals. And because we're adding today, we can call it the sum, because the sum of 24 and 13 is 37. So again, that just means how much all together. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got here. We've got 45 add 23. So we're going to partition each number. So 45, if we split that, how many tens would we have? We'd have 4 tens, and 4 tens are 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, there we go. And there's my 4 tens in a picture. And we'd have 5 ones. And there are my 5 ones. 23, if we partition that into tens and ones, we'd have 2 tens. And there are my 2 tens, which is 10, 20, and 3 ones. And there are my 3 ones. But we haven't finished yet. Okay, now we need to add all the tens together and all the ones together. So how many tens have I got over here? I've got 40 from 45. Add 20 from 23. So 40 add 20. I've got 40. I'm going to bring these ones across. So that's 40, 50, 60. I knew there was 40 there, so I didn't start from 10. I counted on from 40. But if you need to start from 10, that's fine. You can do that to check. So 40 add 20 equals 60. And then I'm going to add my ones. So I've got 5 ones here and 3 ones here. So 5 add 3 equals, you might know that already. If you do, brilliant. It will save you some time. If you don't, that's fine too. You can count on from 5. 5, 6, 7, 8 equals 8. Now I've got my 2 answers here, and to find out the total, I have to add those 2 together. So 60 add 8 equals 68. Most of you already know that you can just put the 8 on top of the 0 there because there aren't any 1s. So you've got 68. If you didn't know that, that's okay. You can count on from 60 because you've already worked that out as being 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. That's how our counting at the beginning helps us with our work today. Okay, now this time we've got 64 at 35. So I want you to pause the video and tell your adult at home, what do we have to do first? That's right, we've got to partition them, split them both into 10s and 1s. So 64 is made up of 6 10s, which is 60. And here are 6 10s, and it's made up of 4 1s. And then 35 is made up of 3 10s, which is 30, correct. There's our 3 10s, 10, 20, 30, and 5 1s. Okay, can you remember what we have to do next? Can you tell your adult? That's right, we've got to put all the 10s together and all the 1s together. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So we've got 60 over here and 30 over here. So 60 add 30, zoom it across. We've got 60, 70, 80, 90, 90 altogether. And then we're going to add our 1s. We've got 4 1s, add 5 1s. So we've got 4, add 5. Okay, now I'm hoping you might already know that one because we know 5 add 5 equals 10 and 4 add 5 is just 1 less than that, isn't it? So what's 1 less than 10? That's right, it's 9. Okay, so we need to now, what do? Put the two answers together, that's right. So we've got 90, add 9, and we know that that is 99. Well done. And if you didn't, you can count up your apparatus to check. Now, you can use apparatus at home. You might not have sticks of 10 and 1. So look, I found some Lego here. So I've got some long thin ones to represent my 10s and some little tiny bits of Lego here to represent my 1s. So you could use Lego, or you could use anything long and thin like pencils or paintbrushes, anything at all. And for your 1s, anything little like raisins, Cheerios, or little beads that you might have at home. I'm going to show you now how you can draw it so you don't need to have any apparatus at all. So exactly the same, I need to split my 52 into 10s and 1s. So I've got 5 10s, which is 50. Okay, and I've got 2 1s. 26 is made up of 2 10s, which are 10, 20, and 6 1s. So now I'm going to get my pen and I'm going to draw it so I can show you. So just like the long thin Lego, I'm going to draw long thin sticks for 50. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then for my 2 1s, I'm just going to do a little tiny line there. And then 26, I'm going to do over here. So I've got 10, 20, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1s. Okay, and then I'm going to add it all together. Okay, so I know I've got 50 here, so 50, 60, 70. So 50 add 20 equals 70. And then I'm going to add my 1s together. So I've got 2 here and 6 here. So 2 add 6 equals, I think it's easier to switch them over because addition is commutative, just like multiplication is. So if I start with 6 and add my 2 1s, I've got 6, 7, 8. That's easier, isn't it, than counting on 6? You might already know that 2 add 6 equals 8. And then I'm going to put my 2 answers together. So I've got 70 add 8, which you know the 8 just goes on top of the 0. So that will give you 78. Well done. Okay, so remember, partition each number into 10s and 1s. Add together the 10s and add together the 1s. And then you need to add together the 2 answers to find the whole answer. Remember, this is important. Swap from counting in 10s to counting in 1s. Okay, I'm going to show you that just now. So this is our practice set. We need to do this together. I think I'm going to get you just to have a little go first. So pause the video, have a go, and then come back and I'll go through it with you before you do your do it, just to check you're on the right track. Okay? So I'm going to find my pen and I'm going to draw it just like before. Okay, so you can check whether you've got it right. So 31, so that's 3 10s and 1 1. and I've got to add 24. So I know that's made up of 2 10s and 4 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm going to add together my 10s. So I've got 30 here, 30, 40, 50. So my 10s come to 50. Okay, and now I'm going to add my 1s together, and I've got 4 and 1. I know 4 and 1 more is 5. So I've got 50, add 5. Do excuse my numbers. Okay, so 31 add 24 equals, well, I know that 50 add 5 is 55 because the 5 just goes over the top of the 0. So that's 55. Oh my goodness. Okay, 55. It is tricky drawing with this mouse. I told you that last time, didn't I? Okay, so the next one, I'm going to show you how to do it slightly differently. Okay, so I'm still going to draw it. So I'm going to draw 63, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63, and 35. That's my second number. So that's 3 10s, 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Okay, but I'm going to count this one, the total, differently. I'm going to keep the whole of the first number in my head, a bit like when we were counting down the 100 square, we're keeping the 4 1s in my head. So I've got 63, and I'm going to make sure that I keep that 3 1s in my head. So 63, add another 10 would be 73, 83, 93. Now I'm going to stop and change from counting in 10s to counting in 1s. So I've got 93, and 1 more is 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. So I've got 98 all together that time. Okay, did you get that? You doing well? If you didn't, don't worry, because there's lots more practice, and you don't need to do the secure it and the deepen it if you're finding this bit a bit tricky. Okay, and then my last one, I'm going to show you that one again in a different way. So I've got 46, I need 4 10s, 30, 40, and how many 1s? 6 1s. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 42. 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 42. Okay. Now, I'm going to use something that I already know. Now, I already know that 4 add 4, my doubles, is 8. So this is the same, really, but instead of 4 1s and 4 1s, I've got 4 10s and 4 10s. So 4 10s and 4 10s is 8 10s. And I know that 8 10s equals 80. So I know that answer. I don't need to count them. Okay, so I've got 80 with my 10s, and then I've got my 1s. So I've got 6 and 2, and I know that 6 and 2 more is also 8. So 6, 7, 8. So I know that it's 80 at 8. And I know that 80 at 8 makes 88. So that last one's 88. Did you get it right? Well done if you did. Okay, if you didn't, don't worry, just a little bit more practice. So you need to carry on doing the same sort of thing for the do it. Okay, so again, exactly the same, just got to partition. You can draw your 10s and draw your 1s like I just did, and then add them all up to see how much you've got all together. Okay, same for the second one. Third one looks trickier, really isn't. Okay, it's just that the answer has moved from the end to the front. So you're finding the total still. So remember, when the equals is here, it's just saying that this side is equal to this side. So it's the same as this side. So if you work out what this is, that will tell you what your first number is, okay? This one looks trickier because it's in a word problem, but again, it's the same sort of thing. So Mo has 32 sweets. Whitney has 44 sweets. How many sweets do they have all together? Now that's your clue there. It's asking all together. If you're asking for something all together, it means you're adding 2 things and the number's getting bigger. So you've just got to add them together like all the other ones. But this time you need to write the number sentence because you haven't been given it. Okay? Right. So I'm sure you'll be fine with that because you've done all the practicing. Now this secure it looks like exactly the same sort of word problem that we just did, but actually it's a 2-step problem. So it's a bit trickier. Okay? I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up. So it says Dora has 15 marbles and Teddy has 13 more marbles than Dora. How many marbles do they have all together? Now, you know that Dora's got 15, but you don't know how many marbles Teddy has got. You just know that his number is 13 more than Dora. So first of all, you need to work out how many Teddy's got, okay? By working out what 13 more than 15 is. Then when you've worked out how many Teddy has got, you can add it to Dora's 15 marbles to find out how many marbles they've got all together. So there's two parts to that question. That's why it's a secure, it's a bit trickier. Okay, so you've got two number sentences to do. Then the second secure, there's a mistake. Oh dear, can you spot it? So it's just the same as what you've been doing. You've split two numbers here, two two-digit numbers into tens and ones. So you've got four tens, 40 for 42. You've got your two tens there, 20. Add them together. And then you've got your ones over here, 2 ones and 6 ones. Add them together. Okay. Then you've got your two answers and you're adding those together to make the total. But it's not right. Somewhere along the way, a mistake has been made. So you need to find the mistake and change the answer, because if there's a mistake along the way, that means the final answer won't be right. 42 or 26 isn't 58. But what should it be? Where has this person gone wrong? Can you correct it? Okay, and finally, the deepening. Well done if you get this far. Okay, this is Asma. And Asma calculates the answer to this addition. 45 add 32. She works it out like this. 45 is made up of 4 and 5. 32 is made up of 3 and 2. So 4 add 5 add 3 add 2 is 14, which must mean that 45 add 32 is 14. Do you agree? Do you think she's done something wrong? Do you think she's done it all right? Does it make sense? Have a little think now, because this is the deep in it. This is the one that you need to write a sentence to explain why you think it's right or why you don't think it's right. So you can use one of your sentence stems. So you could say, I agree with Asma because, or I don't agree with Asma because. Okay, so have a little think, see what she's done. If I move on to the last slide, you can see here some of the sentence stems. So there is one which says, I agree with. So if you wanted to say that, you could use that. Or if you disagreed, you just need to put dis in front of agree. I disagree with Asma because. So see if you can write a sentence to explain your thinking, how you know that she's either right or she's wrong. Okay, and that's it for today. And this is the lesson that I would like you to email into me, please. So I'm looking forward to seeing how you've got on with it. So have a go and let me know how you get on. Remember though, if you are finding it tricky, just do it to the do it. Okay? All right then, have a good day. Bye-bye.